Hello viewers. Welcome to Seek Wisdom. Today in this video, we present you the summary of the book, The 4 Agreements, written by Don Miguel Ruiz. It reveals the source of self-limiting beliefs that rob us of joy and create needless suffering. Based on ancient Toltec wisdom, this book offers a powerful code of conduct that can rapidly transform our lives to a new experience of freedom, true happiness, and love. Hope you like it. Let's get started. What you are seeing and hearing is nothing but a dream. You are dreaming right now in this moment. Dreaming is the main function of the mind, and the mind dreams 24 hours a day. Humans are dreaming all the time. Before we were born, the humans before us created a big outside dream that we will call society's dream, which further goes to the dream of the planet. We are born with the capacity to learn how to dream, and the humans who live before us teach us how to dream the way society dreams. The outside dream has so many rules that when a new human is born, we hook the child's attention and introduce these rules into his or her mind. Attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus only on that which we want to perceive. The adults around us hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. That is the way we learned everything we know. We didn't choose our language, religion, parents, moral values. These all are the small agreements that we didn't choose, but are following. Even our name is not chosen by us. Children believe everything adults say. We agree with them, and our faith is so strong that the belief system controls our whole dream of life. This process is nothing but the domestication of humans. We domesticate our children just like we domesticate our dog or any other animal. We train them for punishment or reward philosophy. Whenever we do something wrong, we get punished, and whenever we do something good, we are rewarded. Due to this, we keep doing what others want us to do in order to get the reward. Due to this fear and reward philosophy, we start pretending to be what we are not, just to please others, just to be good enough for someone else. Eventually, we become someone that we are not. As we become adult, we become so trained that we become our own domesticator. This belief system, which we are trained for in domestication, is like a book of law that rules the mind. With this, we start judging everybody. There is another part of us that receives the judgments, and this part is called the victim. The victim carries the blame, the guilt, and the shame. All these laws exist in our mind, we believe them, and the judge inside us bases everything on these rules. The judge decrees, and the victim suffers the guilt and punishment. But who says there is justice in this dream? True justice is paying only once for each mistake. True injustice is paying more than once for each mistake. Due to our powerful memory, for a single mistake, we pay for 1,000 times every time we remember that mistake because again we judge ourselves. Religions say that hell is a place of punishment, fear, pain, and suffering, but as per this belief system, we are already in hell. We cannot see who we truly are, we cannot see that we are not free. That is why humans resist life. To be alive is the biggest fear humans have. We have the need to be accepted and to be loved by others, but we cannot accept and love ourselves. During the process of domestication, we form an image of what perfection is in order to try to be good enough. Our image of perfection is the reason we reject ourselves. Today what we are is because of thousands of such agreements. If you want to live a life of joy and fulfillment, you have to find the courage to break those agreements that are fear-based and claim your personal power. The agreements that come from fear require us to expend a lot of energy, but the agreements that come from love help us to conserve energy and even gain extra energy. When we are finally ready to change our agreements, there are 4 very powerful agreements that will help us to break those agreements that come from fear and deplete our energy. Each time you break an agreement, all the power you used to create it returns to you. However, you need a very strong will in order to adopt the 4 agreements, but if you can begin to live your life with these agreements, the transformation in your life will be amazing. First agreement is be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. Your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes directly from God. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the word. Every word that is used with an intention of blaming ourselves is like a spell. Similarly, gossip is black magic at its very worst because it is pure poison. Impeccability means without sin. A sin is anything that you do which goes against yourself. You go against yourself when you judge or blame yourself for anything. Being without sin is exactly the opposite. Being impeccable is not going against yourself. When you are impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself. So being impeccable with your word is not using the word against yourself. Being impeccable with your word is the correct use of your energy. It means to use your energy in the direction of truth and love for yourself. Impeccability of the word will also give you immunity from anyone putting a negative spell on you. You will only receive a negative idea if your mind is fertile ground for that idea. When you become impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for words that come from black magic. Instead, it is fertile for the words that come from love. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. The next three agreements are rally born from the first agreement. Say someone said a wrong word about you. You take it personally because you agree with whatever was said. As soon as you agree, the poison goes through you. What causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. Taking things personally is the maximum expression of selfishness because we make the assumption that everything is about me. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own mind. They are in a completely different world from the one we live in. When we take something personally, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds. Their point of view comes from all the programming they received during domestication. When you take things personally, then you feel offended, and your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. Don't take anything personally. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. The mind has the ability to talk to itself, but it also has the ability to hear information that is available from other realms. When you make it a strong habit not to take anything personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your anger, jealousy, and envy will disappear. Taking nothing personally helps you to break many habits and routines that trap you in the dream of hell and cause needless suffering. Just by practicing this second agreement, you begin to break dozens of tiny agreements that cause you to suffer. Third agreement is don't make assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking, we take it personally, then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Similarly, in gossiping, we transfer poison to one another. Because we are afraid to ask for clarification, we make assumptions, and believe we are right about the assumptions, then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. So it is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption. We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make. And this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others. We also make assumptions about ourselves and create a lot of inner conflict. The way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be, and even then do not assume you know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will know the truth. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of emotional poison. Without making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable. With clear communication, all of your relationships will change, not only with your partner, but with everyone else. Now comes the fourth agreement, always do your best. This agreement allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. Under any circumstance, always do your best, no more and no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time, so your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be as good. Your best will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling wonderful and happy, or upset, angry, or jealous. It doesn't matter if you are sick or tired, if you always do your best there is no way you can judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself there is no way you are going to suffer from guilt, blame, and self-punishment. Doing your best, you are going to live your life intensely. Doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. When you do your best you learn to accept yourself. But you have to be aware and learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means you practice, look honestly at the results, and keep practicing. This increases your awareness. When you honor these four agreements together, then you are going to have a beautiful life. You are going to control your life 100%. The four agreements are a summary of the mastery of transformation, one of the masteries of the Toltec. Following these agreements is a path full of obstacles, so you need to have a strong will. This is very difficult in beginning, but if you fall, do not judge. Be tough with yourself. Stand up and make the agreement again. Next comes the path of freedom. The first step toward personal freedom is awareness. We need to be aware that we are not free in order to be free. Once become aware of the problems, start challenging your beliefs, you will find that most of the beliefs that guided you into the wounded mind are not even true. There are three masteries that lead people to become Toltecs. First is the mastery of awareness. This is to be aware of who we really are, with all the possibilities. The second is the mastery of transformation, how to change, how to be free of domestication. The third is the mastery of intent. Intent from the Toltec point of view is that part of life that makes transformation of energy possible. It is the one living being that seamlessly encompasses all energy, or what we call God. Intent is life itself, it is unconditional love. The mastery of intent is therefore the mastery of love. The freedom we seek is to use our own mind and body, to live our own life, instead of the life of the belief system. When we discover that the mind is controlled by the judge and the victim and the real us is in the corner, we have just two choices. One choice is to keep living the way we are, to surrender to the judge and the victim, to keep living in the dream of the planet. The second choice is to do what we do as children when parents try to domesticate us. So, the choice is yours. Here we shall wind up the video. If you like this video, hit a like, share it with your friends. Subscribe this channel for more such videos and hit bell icon to get notified about the latest updates.